That's right, Spurs fans. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but five mock drafts. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. That was the baby of LeBron James and Booker T, if they had one right there at the beginning. Anyway, we're going to be taking a look at 5 mock drafts, and as a bonus, we got a bonus. Old TSR is going to be doing one of his own. We're going to be looking at other sports analysis mock drafts for who the Spurs are taking with the 14th pick and the 38th pick if they put somebody there. Everybody has us taking Dylan Harper number 2, so let's not even go there. But let's go ahead and get into the mock drafts from around the internet, starting with ESPN. They have us taking Carter Bryant out of Arizona. Okay, that's one I've seen mocked to us a few times. He's a forward. It does mention his limited role with Arizona, so that is a concern, his playing time and how involved he was with the team. But this is a player that I've seen mocked to us a lot. In the second round, they have us taking Alex Condon, a center out of Florida. He's a sophomore. I've never heard his name attached to the Spurs. Don't expect it come next month. How about CBS? CBS has us taking, well, Miss TSR would go absolutely nuts if this happened, Liam McNeely from UConn. We need some shooting. And sure, he struggled in college, but I've seen a lot of mocks and analysis say at this spot in the draft, he's the best shooter available, which would make sense. But if this happens, I won't be upset. CBS did not give us a second pick. Bleacher Report. There he is again. Carter Bryant. Coming up quite a bit. And there you go. Actually, in the first sentence, despite Carter Bryant's limited role production and creation. So that's the one thing, again, that concerns me is when I look at Carter Bryant, I keep seeing the word limited. And I'm wondering how limited he'll be in the NBA because we already have plenty of limited guys, guys that can't shoot or play defense, etc. So he's coming up again. For the second round, they have us taking Chaz Lanier, the shooting guard out of Tennessee. About the ringer. All right, I was actually surprised to see this. This is a player that a lot of you have talked about saying, TSR, we get it, Danny Wolf, Twin Towers 2.0. I don't know. He's 6'10 and a half. He's not 7 foot. He was listed at 7, but a little bit of shrinkage in the combine. And one thing I have seen with him is turnovers, inconsistent shooting, and defensive upside you mentioned here as well. But this would give us another big, and the Spurs need size. We need size. We need length. We need girth on that court. So wouldn't be upset with this, but I have seen Wolf projected more around number 20. But if it happens, so be it. And they didn't have a pick for us in the second round. And then last but not least, Sports Illustrated, they just had names listed out, so I don't really have anything to show. They had us drafting Carter Bryant, and in the second round, they had us taking Isaiah Evans, a guard out of Duke. So that's 3 out of 5 mock drafts have us taking Carter Bryant. Okay, your thoughts on that, Spurs fans? If Carter Bryant was drafted 14th overall, do you think that's a good pick? Or is this more drafting upside potential? Because that's one thing I kind of seeing with him is, potential, but we've drafted a lot of guys on potential. It hasn't worked out. So I think I can go more fit and best player available than potential. No offense, Carter. If you become a Spur, heck, I'll be rooting for you. But we're not done yet. I said I was going to do a mock draft, so let's go ahead and pull it up. Boop. This is on Fanspo. I wasn't going to show the actual mock draft and just the results, but some weird things happen with these. And the last one I did, Derek Queen was available at 14, and I was like, no, that's not going to happen. So maybe something odd will happen. So let's go ahead and start the draft. Cooper Flagg, of course, went number 1 to the Mavericks. I fully see that happening. And the Spurs, no surprises here. I'm going to take Dylan Harper, 2nd overall. And do we have any surprises, though, with the auto picking? BJ at 3 means Ace at 4. Ace Bailey. Okay. I don't think he'll... Well, you never know. I've talked about this in the past, Spurs fans. Jalen Duren was a player that was projected to go in the top 10, dropped to 11 or 13. He was projected to go in the top 8 a few years ago. Con Knippel at 8. So this is now playing out kind of how we expected it. Derek Queen at 10, so nothing weird. Jeremiah Fears is still on the board. I don't think he'll last. He's got to come off the board. Okay, he comes off the board at 12. All right, so we're getting... Oh, actually, our pick is next. All right. Who do we have on here, Spurs fans? We got CMB, Colin Murray-Boyles, which you guys have said, TSR, that's Jeremy Sohan 2.0. I like Jeremy. We don't need 2 Jeremys on the team. Igor Demon, I've seen mocked just a little bit. There's Liam McNeely. Carter Bryant is right there for the picking at 16. But if you've been watching this channel, there's another player that has caught my eye, and I'm going to go with him. This would be my perfect draft. Hopefully it plays out the way I wanted to, but I'm going to take Rasheer Fleming out of St. Joseph's. And then we do have the second round pick, so I'm hoping he doesn't come off the board because I've ran this twice and he was available, so please, Fanspo, don't bone me now. Lee McNeely goes at 17. I don't want to see anything weird at one of these top 20 guys just falling into the second round. Like Danny Wolf should not be there when we pick at 38. And I will say this, the player I want in the second round, and if you know who it is, you might already know, I certainly would trade a future second round pick because we have a million of them to move up in the second round if we need to draft this player because he gives us size. And spoiler, I guess I get a little spoiler. It seems like he's kind of tight with Wemby, so I think that's a win-win. Bring a player in that has, we can draft potential in the second round. Senator Coward, by the way, just looked him up today. What's his deal? Was he a football player that's now playing basketball? He's been like skyrocketing up the draft boards. I had never heard of him up until like a week ago. What's going on with this dude? All right, we are getting close to pick number 38. Can you feel it? Can you feel? Do you know? You must know who I'm drafting because I know he's ranked. Alex Cameron, by the way. Isn't he going back to school? But he's been ranked in the 40s on Fanspo's board, which means he's been available every time I run one of these. There he is. I'm drafting the 7'1" French center, Maxime Reynaud, with our 38th pick. Likely not going to be there at 38, but I certainly would be. I would love that, absolutely love that if he was available at 38. To me, this would be almost my perfect draft. My perfect draft would be the Mavericks don't draft Cooper Flagg and take Dylan Harper, and we get Flagg at 2, Fleming at 14, and then Reynaud at 38. Then we bring in shooting, we bring in defense, we bring in size. It checks the boxes of, best player available clearly at 2, but also fits in needs. So that would be my perfect draft. I mentioned Reynaud. Come on. You may have already seen this picture. By the way, Wemby, looks like he's been working out. The legs are still very, very tiny, but his upper body looks like he's been putting on some muscle, so that's good. Not too quick, not too fast. Let your body grow into it. Don't try to put on 40 pounds overnight. Just take it as it comes. But he does look good there. But I've seen a lot of pictures of these two guys together. Now a new picture from this week with these guys doing their thing, playing, practicing. Yeah, I think Maxime Reynaud at 38 would be perfect. Or if we have to move up to 31, 32, give up one of those 8 million second round. We got like 4 second rounders next year, don't we? We don't need 4 second rounders. Use one of those to move up in this draft. Anyway, there's Wemby and Maxine. Great, awesome, love it. As far as the 14th overall pick, we mentioned Carter Bryant has been mocked to us many times, as you saw today. And with Rasheer Fleming, I thought, you know what? Let me compare the players just a little bit here. These are their stats, and take them from what you will because the minutes are very different between the two players. Also, Fleming is a junior. Bryant is a freshman. Good grief. Rasheer Fleming, let's talk about him for a second. Junior out of St. Joseph's. He'll be 21 this season. He's 6'8" 1/4" inch with a 7'5" 1/4" inch wingspan. Wow. And he's got a 32.5" inch vert. Just giving you some, of their dimensions, if you will. And then Carter Bryant, 6'6" 1/2" with a 6'11" 3/4" inch wingspan. He is going to be 20 this season. And one thing that popped out is, I don't know if I already mentioned it, sorry. Fleming has a 32.5" inch vert. Bryant can hop. He's got a 39.5" inch vert. That's more than Stephon Castles, I believe. I believe Steph has a 37, and Bryant can fly even higher. So he's got some athleticism. When you take a look at their stats, though, yes, with the more minutes, Fleming's going to score more. The rebound numbers are actually skewered a little bit higher than I thought they would be for Rasheer. You just kind of almost double the minutes with Bryant, and he's still rebounding less. Steals and blocks wise, they're on par with their minutes, and then shooting wise, Fleming a little better shooter at 53, 39, 74. Bryant, younger player, less college time, 46, 37, 70. I would be fine with either player, but I'm leaning towards a player that gives us more size in the court because that's something we desperately need. I'm taking the guy that at this moment in time appears to have a better three-point shot. So Fleming I would love to see Fleming at 14, but I'll be happy with whatever we get. Unless it's unless it's somebody I've never heard of. If somebody that's projected to go at 29 and we take them at 14, I don't want what I don't want, and you guys have been there before, I don't want one of these moments. Who? That's the worst thing that could possibly happen as a Spurs fan. So let me throw it to you guys. What would be your, we've talked a lot about the draft, and I love talking draft with you guys. With Carter Bryant being mocked at 3 out of the 5 professionals, do you agree is Carter Bryant the guy at 14? Are you with me? Are you like, Rasheer Fleming I'd prefer? Or are you in the Liam McNeely camp, the Danny Wolf camp? We've got a lot of options at 14. Yes, we're going to hit a home run with number 2. It's a 99.9% chance it's Dylan Harper. If Cooper Flagg somehow drops to number 2, clearly we're taking him at 2. But number 14 can really, really help us out and give us some depth off the bench. And who knows, maybe someday be a starter. We'll see. That's all I got, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm enjoying doing the daily content with you guys and talking Spurs, and that's all I got. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.